Welcome back, everyone. Modern Dynasty episode 11 is out, so I'm going to give you my top 7 moments from the episode as well as breaking it down. If you're new here, I'll be doing videos for all of the episodes, so be sure to subscribe to catch them all. This episode starts off with Marco's mom urging Marco not to harm Joe. She pretty much says that Joe has been good to Marco this whole time. Ever since they were young, they were pretty much like brothers, so that is her perspective on their relationship. But little does she know, Marco and Joe, they kind of have the same relationship as Chloe and Sammy do. It seems like Chloe is kind of like Marco in the sense where they both grew up together. Joe pretty much gets all of the accolades. He's always finishing slightly ahead of Marco is, just like how Sammy's always slightly ahead of Chloe. So this next scene picks back up at the courtroom where the retired driver is making his statement, and guess what? He admits that he had a false testimony. This means that it was a success. Joe is going to be out in a few months. He still has a little offense against him, so I guess he still has to stick around for another couple months in jail, but at least it's not 3 years, right? After all of this, Marco goes to visit Joe in jail, and at the end of their conversation, this is actually what Joe looks like as he's walking back to his cell. Is he a little bit suspicious of Marco now? I feel like there's a little bit of tension there that wasn't there before. As we move forward with the accelerated potential of Joe coming back out, there are a few conflicting outlooks between the two brothers. Both of them think about their own prosperities. Thomas pretty much wants to accelerate the project because the quicker things move, the more likely Thomas will be able to showcase his dominance at the helm of the project. But Nigel doesn't want things to move forward too quickly because once Joe comes out, things will normalize a little bit more for him and he doesn't have to feel as suffocated anymore. Thomas and Chloe scheming while doing couple stretching is actually great. I'm a personal trainer, so I do encourage people to stretch and get moving as much as often. So when I see something like this really brings joy to my eyes. Hopefully this inspires more people to get out and active as well. And guess what? While stretching, they stretch so far as to find a way for Chloe to potentially infiltrate the charity to sway an extra vote for them later on. So back at the boardroom, they decide what to do with the plot of land that Joe had bought before he got locked away. Marco had an idea that he did suggest to Joe about potentially leasing parts of that land off to other construction companies for them to fulfill other projects. This is, of course, a contentious topic and one that'll be quite difficult to resolve. Sammy goes into the jail to visit Joe, and she tells him all about what happened during this meeting. And guess what? When she asks for Joe's opinion, Joe actually says, just put down all the business talk. I don't want to talk about business anymore. You've got a baby to take care of. I'm going to be coming out of jail soon. So why don't you just take it easy, relax. I'll handle everything once I'm out. So you can sit at home and be a nice housewife once I'm out. This, I don't think is going to sit very well with Sammy. I don't think she's that type of a lady. And I don't agree with that stuff either. So let's see what continues happening, because this is definitely not something that Sammy wants. And actually, when Sammy goes back to have food with her parents, this is exactly the sentiment that she's getting from her mom. Her mom pretty much says all guys want is just to stow away their wives at home so that they don't have any say in any of their matters. And guess what? She's seen it a ton at the tatanen that she runs. When the husband just wants to dump the wife, they just get dumped and they are left with literally nothing. So it's always best for the wife to at least have a job, a career of her own, so that if anything does happen, she always has something to fall back on, which again, I agree with completely. Everyone should have their own hobbies, their own interests, their own careers, and then you come together, you're much stronger together as a couple. So yeah, I agree with the mom with this one. Yay! Chloe has taken over the mantle of caring for Lai. She is trying to weasel her way into her good books and take over as the head of this charity. Oh man, so on the same note of the charity, Lai meets up with the 3 wives and announces that she's going to be stepping down as the head of this charity committee. Sammy at this point mentions that she'd be delighted to take over, which of course agitates the heck out of Chloe. But this is the perfect opportunity. She just had that conversation with Joe. She realizes that Joe doesn't want her to remain the CEO after he gets out, and she just spoke with her parents, and that fear of not having anything and potentially losing everything when Joe does come back up, I think that does scare her a little bit. So if she does get this role as the head of this charity, at least she'll have that going for her. Alright, so both Sammy and Chloe kind of go back and forth, and they have their little banter about who should be the next head. They both want the position, and then when it goes around to Dai Siulai, and then she tries, she just gets the hand. Oh my goodness. Just take a bow, get out of here. Later on that evening, when Lai Lai talks to Loye and asks for his advice, Loye actually says, wouldn't it be good for her to consider Dai Gaso? Because if she gets it, then all three households kind of have something going for them at this moment. Lai Lai agrees with what he says, and I'm pretty sure that's the route that they're going to take. And it was. The next morning at breakfast, Lai Lai announces that decision, and look at how surprised she is. Everyone's surprised at this point. Even I was a little bit surprised, but it makes sense. Like, spread out the roles, spread out everything so that there isn't too much bitterness in the family. So it makes sense. Holy, so at the charity press conference, all of the reporters during her acceptance speech received the latest update. They all check their phones at the same time, and it's just been notified to all the press and media that Yipsi Zatun, so Dai Siulai's family's company, they have officially filed to Qingpun, which is bankruptcy. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. What a horrible moment for her. But I guess that's what happens when you treat other people like that and you treat other people with bad intentions. All of those things eventually come back to you. So be nice to each other. And that is how the episode ends. So are we going to see a smooth transition for Dai Siulai? Will we see more of Marco's plans come to fruition? And the most important question of all, will we see more Thomas and Chloe scheming stretch scenes? Let's find out in the next episode. If you enjoyed that breakdown, please smash that like button and subscribe so that you see my next video. Let's get this channel to 100 subscribers by the end of this series. That would mean everything to me. So please share this with your friends if you can. Aside from that, have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys back here on the next one. Peace.